We do have the relatively sort of small daily sits happening in the Zendo, morning and evening. And if you're vaccinated and you're local, you can attend those. But I think it's rather not large gatherings, and there's plenty of space in the way the cushions are arranged. What else? Yeah, well, you'll be cognizant, I think, most of you, that this original love program thing that I've launched is ongoing, and it's going to probably happen in the shape of courses, which meaning that there's a once a week gathering for a set number of weeks, and typically what I'm hoping is to have a weekend retreat sometime around the end of each course. That's kind of roughly what's in my mind. But I just want to sort of state, which I hope you'll assume anyway, that all our commitment to Zen is unchanging. The Thursday nights, more or less close to monthly retreats, that's all going to carry on. Valerie Roshi, has been just doing an amazing amount of deeply sort of generous offerings of Dokusan, and it's really been a blessing for our Sangha. Thank you, Valerie, so much. And I mean, not to mention other things, of course, too. Her fantastic, glittering talks and crystal clear talks, and her power in the retreats, and in many ways. I want to just say, that I'm neurologically, often I'm sort of fairly normal, but a small thing can apparently tip me over, and then it's rather slow to recover. So I have not yet felt confident about resuming Dokusan myself. It's rather sort of intense, the experience of offering Dokusan, even whether it's in person or in Zoom, because it's just the rapid succession of people. I also not so when it comes to Dokusan like that, if possible, I prefer really to be able to do it with video, and I just can't manage sustained video. It's unfortunately, it's one of the things that upsets the neurology at the moment. And so I haven't, of course, I'm very much planning to resume offering Dokusan. I just can't say with confidence at the moment when that will be, but it'll happen. And meanwhile, we're just so lucky that Valerie's here and open to offering Dokusan. So just really sort of wanting to lay out kind of a most rough sort of map of what's happening at Mountain Cloud. It's, all the Zen activities carrying on, and we got this other program. I think, I like the idea that this original love program would actually be something some people, even if they're thoroughly committed to Zen only, great, no problem. But they might still actually find it advantageous, beneficial to step into original love now and then, to get the idea of it, in my mind, is anyway, just to broaden our sort of basis of practice so that we're not unbalanced. The old idea in Chinese Buddhism, very, very early on, you can find this in a rather obscure document, actually. There was an idea that the practice was a cart track. The path is actually like a cart track, and it has two ruts. The cart has two wheels, could have four wheels, but anyway, it needs two ruts, and that's what we need. So one rut is our sort of gradual approach to practice, developing gradually through mindfulness training and so on. And the other rut is awakening, awakened fact, awakened reality, which is always already here. So you don't need any kind of gradual training. None of us do, because already fully awake world is right here, right now. This is it. Who needs to train? Who needs to cultivate? Who needs to gradually develop? Well, actually we all do, because even though awake nature is right here and it's this erring human being. This is it. This is awake nature. Hard to believe, I know, but it actually is. This erring, fallible, ailing, aging creature here. This is awake nature. But it is also an erring, fallible, ailing, aging creature, and has to be treated as such as well. So 2 ruts. That's the idea behind this original love business. At least that's one idea behind it. Another is and this is really a way, I hope, of sort of preparing us in a certain sense for the beautiful koans. It's so effortless. It's effortless. It's about sinking, letting go, releasing, so that we sort of fall into the open arms of now. That's the idea. No effort, nothing to attain. So simple. And actually, that is really what the koans, I believe, it's an aspect of what they're really trying to convey to us. But alas, we don't always approach them that way, naturally enough, because, koan training is a pretty intense thing. Koan after koan after koan. If we're doing that, hardcore training, we come to the teacher. Are they going to say yes? Are they going to say no? Have we got it? Have we not got it? It's not effortless. But the koans themselves, totally effortless. Nothing to attain. So I hope that, no problem, just do Zen. Great, 100%. Or get a little flavor of this original love business. Fine, sort of broaden your practice just a little bit. That's my thinking. So, okay, so today, now, talk. Henry, come on, let's get on with it. Okay, so we've been looking at, I've been looking at, and we're sharing hope, with you all, koans from the Gateless Gate. We've been, actually, I'm not even sure, did we do Mu? I can't remember if we did Mu. I think not. I think I started with the fox, cause and effect, and then we went to the finger, and then we went to the beard, and then we skipped the tree. Valerie gave a great talk on the tree, actually. Kyogen's Man Up a Tree. I think you can find it on the YouTube. That's the 5th koan in the Gateless Gate. Then 6th koan in the Gateless Gate. Flowers. Well, one flower. Buddha twirled the flower. Okay, I know this is such a beautiful, oh my God, bouquet from Margie. Whoa. In a beautiful ceramic from Christie, I think. Yeah, one of Christie Hank's beautiful porcelain vases. Buddha holds up a flower. Koan number 6. So number 7 in the Gateless Gate. Remember, what is the Gateless Gate? The Gateless Gate is so simple, really. It's gatelessness, borderlessness, barrierlessness, wall-lessness. That's what it is. It's this fact, this reality, this being that has no borders, has no limit. It's just one boundless being, boundless, effortless being. So why, if it's gateless, why is it a gate? Well, of course, it isn't really, but in a sense, maybe it's because we erect the gate. we erect the gate of separateness. I mean, we can't help it. This is not like, please don't get down on yourself for doing it. We all do it, and we need to do it in some way, and it's all fine. But we also have the possibility of discovering that the gate, the wall between myself and the world, and which we then project to being a gate between all things separate from all other things, each thing separate from all other things, just as we are. It's okay. We make a construction that's like that. Fine, no problem. It's really no problem. It really is like a little glittering reflection on the surface. That's fine. And there's also the greatness, the great whatever that is on the surface of which this world of separate things presents itself, that we sort of make it look that way. Is that just too many ideas and word salad? Let me just try to say it again. We create the sense that we're an isolated entity in a world of other isolated entities. Isolated in the sense that they're separate. We're separate. And that is fine. From the point of view of this other dimension that is boundless and one and very, very clear, it's not a problem. If we want to do that, we're free to do that. It's a play of light on the surface of a great ocean. Maybe we can think of it that way. I mean, but don't think of that just as a metaphor. Really, what we're opening up in this Zendo, in this Zen way, is the possibility that Henry says something like that, but it's not actually an idea. It's an experience that we can actually see for ourselves, that our precious lives and all the troubles and sometimes very heartbreaking troubles we have, and losses and challenges and difficulties, which is very hard for us, and that's deeply understandable that we find it hard. That all of that can also be seen from a different perspective, of something like it being a little sort of a drama being played in a great space. And when we open up to that space, the gatelessness, the sort of the troubles that very understandably occupy us, they don't look anything like as troubling. That's not to say we neglect them. It's just that we've got a larger perspective from which to tend to them. And that larger perspective is not just larger, it's very loving. It's very warm and tender and peaceful and energetic as well. And it sort of knows that we have troubles, and it loves us and it and everything. It just has no problem really with everything. And when we tune into that, things that are hard look different. It's not that they're gone and that we should ignore them. It's that they look very different, and we can develop the facility to be flexible in our perspective, so that we can zoom in and be right in the midst of this troubled world and tending the best we can, and helping as we can, where we can, and also we can know the bigger fact as well, and we can do even both at the same time, and it can just become more. We develop facility with perspective shift. It's very, very nice to develop that. It's tremendously helpful in life, and one of the reasons is that when we're in the narrower perspective, tends to be that comes with the contraction into feeling like a separate self, and the separate self is often anxious, often scared, often gets defensive and aggressive even at times, and because it's small and separate and feels it's got to look out for itself. Whereas the larger view is not. And so it's because it's freed of that contraction into a sense of separateness. It's released that. When we don't release it. When that releases, we find this bigger being, larger being. Yeah, okay, so that's what this Gateless Gate is. It's a book, it's a manual, it's a training program unto itself, the Gateless Gate. It's 48 koans. It's a training manual in developing precisely the kind of facility I've just been talking about. That's what it is. So we go by koan, and now we got to number 7. And I've spent so long introducing it, I don't know how much time I'll have to talk about it. But let's see. I don't mind. We can come back to it another time. This is a koan with great master Joshu, or Zhao, who lived from 782 to 898. 778, to 898. So that's 120 years, and it's not legendary. The Chinese records were very good. They were diligent sort of bureaucrats, 778 to 898, or maybe 897 actually. 897. So then maybe you think it's 119 years old. Actually, they counted, 1 when you were born. So the Chinese counting is 120 years he lived. Basically 100 of those years he was practicing Zen. I think more and more he wouldn't have felt he was practicing Zen. Life was just happening. But he started serious training at the age of 18. I think he entered his teacher Nanchuan or Nansen's monastery at the age of 18. Stayed there for 40 years. Nanchuan died when he was 57. I think I got that right. Maybe 56. After Nanchuan died, Zhao stayed another 3 years or so. 3 or 4 years, and then they say at the age of 60 he went out on a pilgrimage. A pilgrimage in Zen did not mean, or does not mean, like there's a holy site that I'm going to go and visit, go and pay my respects to. So whereby the pilgrimage sort of is the journey to that place, and perhaps the return as well, like to Santiago de Compostela or something like that, the famous pilgrim routes of Europe. That would be the most famous. 600 miles, 800 miles, 400 miles, because there are various routes actually that go to it. But in Zen, a pilgrimage was different. It was wandering, i.e. no destination. Just wandering. So sometimes they're talking about as wandering with the wind, going where the wind takes me, going where my feet take me, just free. So here's a first hint for us of this Gateless Gate. What about if we, even right now, sitting, notice, are we trying to get somewhere? Do we have a destination? I bet we do, many of us. We're, I don't know, I don't think it's just the modern world, but in the modern world anyway, we do a lot of planning. I mean, I wonder if you ever notice when you're sitting, it's quite good really to become cognizant where your mind goes when it goes somewhere. I mean, when thinking comes up and you get caught by it and you don't even know you're thinking, and then you're delivered from it, somehow drop off the train and, whoa, I'm back. Where were you just then? Did it have planning in it? It's quite common that planning is, I'd say, it's a big category for most of us. One of the places we go when we think a lot. Well, right now, what if we have no destination? That could be no destination in practice. Could be just really broader than that even. No place we're trying to get to. What is it like to let any sense of a destination go? I don't know, but what I find right away is that now, this is what fills, I don't know what, the spaceless space. This is the place to be. This is the one place to be. And so this is really the pilgrimage. It's just here. Being here. Don't worry, the journey will happen. It's all going to keep unfolding. And all we got to do really is be here. Everywhere else that we go, planning, hoping, scheming, whatever, fearing, all of it is actually missing the true journey. The real journey is here, where we think there isn't a journey, because it's here, it's now, there's no journey. Yes, there is. This is where the movement, the unfolding is happening, right here, now. And find it, come to it. How do you come to it? Release. If this were a gate, just to map this onto the Gateless Gate, this is the Gateless Gate. This is the gatelessness. So to find it, actually, all we have to do is sort of release what isn't this. Maybe some little yearning for something different, for something future, fearing something future, something that's not here now. We just, we just let it go. But we don't really let it go. It releases itself if we're just still and effortless. So a kind of aimlessness that's so rich. It's a doorway, they say. It's one of the doors of liberation. Aimlessness. And sort of alongside that, or maybe something that helps with that, or maybe something that we find because of that, is this effortless way, effortlessness. Sometimes you'll find it if you get the release of effort, and you sort of it's just like a little fall backward into effortlessness, effortless being. You know that the effortless being, you can fully trust it. It'll sort of make everything happen that needs to happen, and we don't actually have to do anything about that. It tells us. It sort of if there's something it wants us to do, it just shows us. But just by falling back into effortlessness, and then what comes with it when we really find it is that we trust it automatically. When we find our own effortlessness, we trust it. And then we know aimlessness. Beautiful. True pilgrimage, Zen style. Okay, so Joshu spends 20 years on that kind of pilgrimage, visiting other Zen practitioners. He's already had, numerous ever deeper clarifications. He's thoroughly sort of effortlessly awake, so free, so responsive. And he's in the phase of Zen training, or maybe he's through it, where, really we're just, the whole awakening business is forgotten. You can't, unfortunately, get to that, not really without going through it, sort of thing. It's not like, well, if we can forget about awakening, why don't I just do it? It doesn't happen. It happens by itself. All of this happens by itself, not by our volition. Even awakening, it doesn't happen by our volition. And then the releasing of starting to get beyond awakening. I mean, what little I know about it, not very much. But that too happens by itself, not by our wishing it. It happens by itself. So then, he's checking himself with other masters, and finally at the age of 80, he settles down to teach in the town of Jiaozhou, or Joshu. That's where he got his name. So in the course of his years teaching there, we get this koan. It's called Joshu's Wash Your Bowls. So this thing I've been contending in these talks on the Gateless Gate. Zen doesn't really care about sort of teachings as some sort of abstract thing. It likes things. Things are the Dharma. Things are this here now is our lesson. It's just this moment now is our lesson. So it's got stuff in it, things. So one koan is on the dog, one is on a fox, one is on a beard, one is on a finger, etc. This one is bowls. True to form. Not like find, such and such a state of samadhi, and then from that you're going to release that, and then you're going to move into this other state of mind. No. Bowls. It goes like this. The monk asks Master Jiaozhou, I've just entered the monastery. Please, Master, give me some instruction. So this is a young monk like he was himself 60 years earlier, or 70, 80 years earlier. Comes and says, I've come, I'm wanting to follow the way. Please tell me how to do it. Please give me some guidance. Help me, teach me. So he's very, ready to be a student. And Joshu says, have you had your rice gruel yet? Your meal. I don't know, the word gruel isn't such a, I don't know, but the connotation in England, anyway, Britain, is not very nice, really. Because of Charles Dickens and workhouses and things. You may have seen the musical Oliver, and they got gruel. But this rice gruel is just basically is. I mean, I think we've had it quite often in retreats in Japan. It's just well boiled rice it's still got sort of rather thickened water really in it. If you imagine something like a sort of sloppy oatmeal but with rice, So have you had your oatmeal yet? The monk, wait, no, let's wind this back. The monk has come to the monastery wanting to follow the way, wanting to be taught. Please teach me, Master. Okay, have you had your oatmeal yet? Wait, I want teaching. I want great Dharma, I want to know all about brilliant states of mind I can find, and the teaching, the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, the 3 marks. I want the full package. Give me the teachings. Yes, I will. Have you had your oatmeal yet? Okay. Well, the monk asks, yes, actually I have. Have you eaten your rice gruel yet? Yes, I have. That's the monk's response. Have you had your midday meal? Yes, we just ate. Okay. So then Joshu says, then wash your bowls. Then wash your bowls. Have you had breakfast yet? Yes. So wash your bowls. And that's the end of the koan. Now, there's many ways to look at this. There's many ways to receive its wisdom, I think. And when we pick it up again, we'll look at some of them. But let's just see for now. Is there anything we can just glean? I want to be guided, Master. I want to go on this journey of a lifetime in awakening and practice, and please guide me. I will. Have you had your rice? Have you eaten your rice? Yes, I have. Then wash your bowls. Now, okay, just imagine that we are releasing direction to destinations. We're releasing destinations. Imagine that we're releasing effort. And it's worth checking, because a koan can be a thing that inspires effort. Oh man, I got to get this thing. Well, let's see if we are able to just get imagine really, nothing to get. No destination like getting something. No, just here now, effortlessly. Nothing to be attained, nothing to get. A bit of releasing maybe. Is there anything holding, gripping, grasping, reaching, trying to get? So if there is, welcome it. Soften around it. It's part of this moment. It's part of now. And being part of now, it's part of all this. Being part of all this is part of the great effortlessness. It's part of the great richness. It's part of the great aimlessness. It's part of it. Nothing to be banished. Now, from this perspective, have you had your meal yet? Yes, I have. Then wash your bowls. From this perspective, what's the teaching? Is there anything to teach, actually? Is it teaching? What is it? Wash your bowls. We can get this on different levels. We really can. Wash your bowls. I mean, can we get that simple? Where there's nothing to get. Can we release trying to get anything? And it's just, have you had breakfast? Yeah. Well, better wash up. Wash your plate. I mean, I don't know whether you're getting a hint or some little flavor, some little touch of sort of. I mean, again, not don't try to get anything. See, it's sort of like it's unimaginably easy. That's the problem. It's just. That's why they're so helpful, really, these kinds, because they really provoke the mind that wants to sort of solve, They really seem to raise that up, the solving mind. We'll never get them that way. That's the gate. The gateless part is nothing to solve. And no effort, nothing to get. Can we be that simple? Of course we can. Of course we can. And we are, in fact. It's just that we're quite habituated to having things that won't quite let go and seem to occlude the simplicity, but it's always here anyway, occluded or not. Okay, I think that's what I want to do for now. So, excuse me, just a moment. I'm getting rid of something on my screen. So yeah, let's call it for this introductory talk on this koan, Joshu's Wash Your Bowls. Great koan, by the way. And I think, if your practice would accommodate it comfortably, why not let this flow in now and then, or be part of your practice now and then over the next weeks? And then you'll see what it's like for you when I next give a talk on it. Now, just a little housekeeping pointer, or whatever to call it. Actually, a week today, my wife Claire and I our plan is to go back to the UK for a little less, just under 2 weeks, to visit our aging parents. Claire's are sprightly young things in their 80s, and my mum is 90. And we haven't seen any of them in well over 2 years. Of course, like I'm sure many of you have not seen dear ones in that long either. So there's right now both countries are sort of just at a level where we're actually allowed to go, and so we decided to take the plunge. So I know we've only just had a little holiday, a little break at Mountain Cloud, but actually I'm going to be going to the UK for that period of time. And it means that I won't be able to attend Thursday night for basically the next 3, I think, because next week is the 16th when we fly. Valerie very kindly is offering a talk then. And then the following week, Ruben Abito Roshi will be giving a talk. And then the week after that, actually, I think is Victoria Austin, which is just great. We're getting these visiting teachers alongside Valerie and myself. And so the week after that, October 7th, I think it is, or October, I think it might be the 7th, will be when we pick up the bowls again. So have a good time with the bowls. That's what I want to say. See how it speaks to you, how they speak to you, especially at the kitchen sink. Not forgetting the kitchen sink. Slow down. I mean, just make sure when you're about to wash your bowl, do I know I'm washing the bowl? What else is going on? Can I release anything else going on and just wash this incredible, sort of staggering thing, a bowl? Okay, let's see how that goes. And I'll look forward very much to sort of seeing everybody when next possible. And I think, oh yeah, why don't we have, no, what are we, at 6:45? I think we'll probably just, we'll just sort of close. I mean, we don't have to sort of close, but let's just be winding up now. I was going to think maybe we have some questions, but actually I don't think so. I want to just wish everybody very, very well, and enjoyable practice, ease and joy in your practice that you share with all those you come into contact with, in a non-obtrusive, not conspicuous way, in a sort of subtle, discreet way. Okay? No, we don't want to be sort of paragons of spirituality, not at all. We want to be normal human beings, ordinary human beings. Okay. So thank you very much, Johanna. Thank you very much, everybody. All our great team that keeps Mountain Cloud running. Thank you so much, Valerie, for sort of holding everything, holding the fort, so to speak. Okay. Go well, everybody. Thank you.